Miami Dolphins versus Pittsburgh Steelers preview. Picks and prediction, Monday, December 15th, 2025. The Miami Dolphins will play the Pittsburgh Steelers on Monday Night Football at Acrisure Stadium in Week 15 NFL action. We have you ready to go with our Commanders versus Giants prediction, preview, and picks. Kickoff from Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, is at 8:15 p.m. Eastern Time. The Steelers are 3-point spread favorites, and the game total is 42.5 points scored. These teams last played in 2022, a game Miami won 16-10. Pittsburgh won 6 of the previous 8 games. If you want a Dolphins versus Steelers prediction, read on and check out our NFL picks to beat the sportsbooks. Dolphins are coming off a dominant rushing performance. Miami 6-7 SU, 7-6 ATS, and 7-5-10/U. Beat the New York Jets 34-10 last week, covering the spread as 2.5-point favorites. The Dolphins dominated New York on the road, picking up their 4th consecutive win. Miami led 21-0 early and never relented, outgaining the home team by over 150 yards. Both teams were dreadful on third down. The Dolphins went 2-for-10, and the Jets went 1-for-12. But the visitors were able to generate big chunk plays on the ground, 41 carries for 239 yards. They also forced 3 Jets interceptions, holding the football for over 12 more minutes than the Jets. 6th-year NFL pro Tua Tagovailoa leads the Miami passing game with 2,407 yards, 18 touchdowns, and 14 interceptions. He has completed 66.9% of his attempts, averaging 6.8 yards per pass. Tagovailoa's top receiving targets are WR Jalen Waddle, 57 receptions for 812 yards and 6 TDs, and RB Devon Achane, 55 receptions for 383 yards and 4 TDs. Achane also leads the Dolphins' ground game with 193 carries for 1,126 yards and 7 rushing scores. Miami scores 21.6 points per game, 22nd, and averages 304.6 total yards, 25th. Including 178.2 passing yards, 28th, and 126.5 rushing yards, 8th. The Dolphins' defense gives up 22.8 points, 15th, and 334.5 total yards, 19th per game, including 202.6 passing yards, 12th, and 131.9 rushing yards, 25th. Miami Dolphins injury report. RB Devon Achane, C. Aaron Brewer, and CB Jack Jones are expected to play against Pittsburgh. DB Elijah Campbell, ankle/knee. CB Rasul Douglas, foot. Esafita Melifonwu, thumb/groin. Welby Chop Robinson, oblique. And T. Darren Waller, wrist, are questionable to play on MNF. Can Pittsburgh build momentum for a playoff push? Pittsburgh, 7-6 SU, 6-7 ATS, and 7-6 O/U. Beat Baltimore 27-22 last weekend, pulling off a surprising upset as 6-point road underdogs. The Steelers bounced back from consecutive losses to Chicago and Buffalo with a huge division victory, as Aaron Rodgers passed for a touchdown and rushed for another. The Ravens nearly rallied from an 11-point deficit in the 4th quarter, but a couple of big calls went against them. They outgained Pitt by over 100 total yards, holding the visitors to just 34 rushing yards, but were just 2-for-6 in the red zone. Rodgers leads a Pittsburgh passing attack with 2,370 yards, 20 touchdowns, and 7 picks. He has completed 65.4% of his passes, averaging 6.9 yards per pass. The Vets' top receiving targets are WRDK Metcalf, 52 receptions for 753 yards and 5 TDs, and T. Pat Freiermuth, 28 receptions for 307 yards and 4 TDs. The Steelers' run game is led by RB Jalen Warren, 159 carries for 652 yards and 4 TDs. Pittsburgh scores 23.7 points per game, 14th, and averages 284.5 total yards, 27th, including 195.2 passing yards, 23rd, and 89.2 rushing yards, 29th. The Steelers' defense gives up 23.9 points, 19th, and 369.3 total yards, 28th per game, including 244.0 passing yards, 27th, and 125.3 rushing yards, 21st. Pittsburgh Steelers injury report. QB Aaron Rodgers, WRDK Metcalf, LB Patrick Queen, and S. Kyle Duggar will play against Miami. OLB TJ Watt is out due to a lung issue. DT Cameron Hayward, T. Darnell Washington, WR Calvin Austin 3, OG Andres Pete, CB James Pierre, DT Derek Harmon, and LB Malik Harrison are questionable to play on MNF. Dolphins versus Steelers pick and preview spread pick for Dolphins versus Steelers. Miami +3 for units. I lean towards Miami side ATS. Tagovailoa has drawn his fair share of criticism for his poor play in cold weather, but he won't have to be the hero with a chain expected to play. Miami's run game was explosive last week, and Pittsburgh's run defense is average. Plus, DT's Hayward and Harmon are banged up, and with what's sidelined, the Steelers' pass rush will take a hit. After giving up 217 yards on 40 carries last week, the Dolphins should run wild on Monday night. Rodgers looked great last week against the bad Ravens defense, but could he sustain that level of play this week? The Miami pass defense has improved since the start of the season, ranking 8th in DVOA against the pass since Week 10. The Fins' run defense has also been excellent, ranking 7th against the run for the year. Under pick for Dolphins versus Steelers. Under 42.5, 5 units. Betting trends. Neither team features an explosive offense. That's been evident in the totals in their games, as the under has cashed in 5 of Miami's last 6 games, and 4 of Pittsburgh's last 6. The Dolphins will run the football as much as possible at a banged-up Steelers front. Achane is good to go and will be ready to pick up where he left off against the Jets. Don't expect much from Tua, though, as the Alabama product ranks 29th in EPA per play over the past 4 weeks. Miami's poor line play, 25th in pass block win rate, certainly hasn't helped him either. As I mentioned in the spread analysis, I'm not convinced Rodgers can rise to the occasion in consecutive weeks. With Miami improved against both the run and the pass, Monday's total is unlikely to surpass the 42-point mark.